Well, hi there, and welcome back to Feed the Beast Monster. How's it going? So we are halfway through our plans to build a better mob trap. Since last time I have been down here, and you can see and you can hear that I've installed 4 of these things now. These item collectors. I did this last episode. And I've also put in the Buildcraft pipes to all of them. I've just linked them all up with the iron pipes. They don't actually link up to a chest yet. Down here, our redstone energy cell is out of power, but we're getting quite low actually, because we're starting to turn up a little bit of gold, which is brilliant. So, that's good. What else have I been doing? Just really quickly, I have been over here. You can see probably that I've made a few alterations to the paths, and I've started work a bit more on this building. This is the building that will become the factory. It has been changed so many times because this tower was in completely the wrong place so many times. But this will be a main ME system room in here. Bit of a view out there, down to that little lake bit. And up here we have a little bit of an area which will eventually be housing things like all the different machines from the various mods which are going to live in here and be used by the ME system. And I am actually very near to starving to death, so I'm going to run back and get some food. So what is the plan for today? Well, we have handled the item collection part of the mob trap. All that we need is something which will actually kill the mobs. So there's lots and lots of ways to do that. And as I said last time, my cunning plan is to eat lots and lots and lots of apples. Delicious. That's my 5 a day. Is to use Industrialcraft. I've had the rubber trees on the go for some time, and I've got the rubber tree farm, which is working perfectly now that I've got all of the oak trees out of it. In fact, it's probably going to be overflowing anytime soon. So, Industrialcraft. It has changed a little bit. If you're used to the old style, there's a few new things you have to do with it, but basically most of it's the same. We need rubber. Rubber's a major part of Industrialcraft. So let's just get a few twigs, and I'm going to move away from Rotary Craft into... Is it IC2 in this? It is not. Is it Industrialcraft? It is Industrialcraft. Okay, so as you can see, this is a really big mod. If you don't know it, it has absolutely tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff in it. Most of which we're probably not going to get to too quickly. Now, one of the things which I do want most definitely is the tree tap. It's probably one word. Here we go, the tree tap from Industrialcraft 2. I'm going to actually want a few of these. They're just wood planks, basically. That's why I made up a load of wood planks. So I'm actually going to make 5, and these things don't stick. Now, a lot of what you need in Industrialcraft is basically rubber. Rubber comes from rubber trees, but you can't just sort of burn the wood and get the rubber out. You have to use something called an extractor, which means you need a bit of rubber to make in the first place. So we're going to have to get some more rubber. That's why we've got these trees which I grew before. And what these trees have on them, you can see I've been punching leaves out, because if we come around this side, you can see this little yellow dot. That is where rubber comes out if you right click it with a tree tap. Well, it's where sticky resin comes out, to be exact. There's some sticky resin. If you leave it, it will regenerate, and there was one on this tree as well, right there. You get a random amount of sticky resin. I have got 2, which really isn't that much. But in the past I have also, it does sometimes pop out when you actually cut down trees, and it should be in here, but it is not, so where has that gone? because that is where the sorting system should put it, unless I've slipped it into there. Okay, I have lost the rest of my sticky resin. Someone has stolen my sticky resin. Oh well. What we do is we chuck this into a furnace. Any furnace. Obviously I've got the redstone furnace. That cooks through and outputs a single piece of rubber. There it goes. Now, in order to get all of the rubber out of all those rubber logs which I have got over there, we need an item called the extractor. And that is somewhere in among this pile of stuff. Is that it? There we go, the extractor. As you can see, this needs 4 tree taps, that's why I got it. It needs a basic machine casing, that needs iron plates, which is something new in this version of the mod. Can I just tap that to get it more in? There we go. We need an electronic circuit. Electronic circuit needs these copper cables, and copper cables are made from a piece of rubber and uninsulated cable. So we are going to need quite a bit of rubber. I could also use this basic circuit, which is going to use a lot of redstone, but this is from a different mod. So the basic machine casing requires iron plates. We can make iron plates from 4 iron ingots. That's quite wasteful and is from a different mod. We can also, if I wait for one to pop up, use a forge hammer and a single iron ingot. That's less wasteful. A forge hammer is 5 iron ingots and 2 sticks, so it's really not that difficult to make, as long as you have a couple of sticks. It is a tool, which means it is going to wear out, but you can eventually make a machine which will do this for you. If I ever get around to doing it, which I may well do when I start to automate everything in a giant factory over there. So this is the forge hammer. If we take the forge hammer and combine it with iron ingots, we get these iron plates. And you can see how that thing is taking damage. There are 8 iron plates. It's, as you can see, got 72 uses left. It has 80. Put them in a circle like that, and you've got your basic machine casing. We have these 4 tree taps. They have to be fresh ones to make this. You can't use the one which you have already used. We need another iron plate and 2 pieces of redstone, and in addition we're going to need quite a bit of rubber. We're actually going to need more rubber than I realised that we needed, which is going to be slightly difficult. I might have to cut the video for a minute. Here is our rubber though, whilst I wait for a bit more rubber to grow. What I could do is dash over here. Is this worth it? No, it's not. Have either of those regrown? They shouldn't have done yet. They don't take long to regrow, but they do take a little bit of time. Oh, there's one down here. That's handy. Pop. That one gave me 2, so I only need 2 more. This one has regrown. Give me 2. Yes, that guy gave me 3. Perfect. That gives us just enough for now. So let's go and pop these into a furnace. Right, we, as I said, need to make some... I've clicked the wrong one. I've clicked the wrong one again. There we go. We need 6 copper cables. 6 copper cables are made from rubber and uninsulated copper cable. The uninsulated copper cable is a copper plate used with a cutter. Copper plate's copper bashed, just like we bash the iron. The cutter is 2 iron ingots and 3 iron plates. So we're going to actually need a lot of these iron plates. I might just as well whack a load of these out. And we are also going to want to get a bit of copper. Copper is something we are running really low on again, because yes, this is yet another mod which takes a lot of copper. And yes, I have completely no idea what the recipes were for this. The cutters were like that, I believe. So here's our cutters. They have 60 uses each. What we need to do is snip these iron plates. You get 2 uninsulated copper cables for each. So I'm going to make 12, which is way more than we need. With a bit of luck, these have come through by now. They have. As such, I can quickly whip together, if I could only click them, cable and rubber makes these copper cables. These aren't as low tier as they were in previous versions of Industrialcraft if you have played those. If not, these are what you want for now. Okay, so we need a couple of pieces of redstone. We're again starting to chomp through our redstone. So a couple of pieces of redstone surrounded by an iron plate, and 7 of these is actually only going to get us a single one of these electronic circuits. To make this we need 1 electronic circuit, the basic machine frame and those 4 tree taps. Did I make 4? Yep. So 1 of those, and all 4 of these makes us the extractor. Now we can actually get the rubber out of all of those hundreds of tons of rubber wood which I have got being made over there. Now the problem is this thing does actually need powering. There's various ways to power Industrialcraft machines. But the problem is that none of them take the thermal expansion energy, so I can't just stick them on one of these cables somewhere. They just won't connect. What I need to do is use one of the Industrialcraft generators, which is a bit of a pain if I am entirely honest, but it's not too much. So here are some of the things you've got. You've got geothermal generators, water mills, solar panels, windmills, and nuclear reactors. Really, the solar panels are the best, but you can see it's going to take 2 electronic circuits along with a generator. So you might just as well start by making a generator. A generator is an iron furnace, which is a furnace surrounded by iron like that. 3 pieces of those, and the RE battery. That is a tin item casing and insulated tin cable now. These use a lot of tin. So it's a bit more annoying than it used to be, but let's quickly whip up some of this. So we need 5 of these plates. Quickly hammer a load of these out. We are also going to need some cobblestone because we now actually need to make a furnace to make these generators. So the furnace plus this makes us an iron furnace. This can be used entirely on its own like a normal furnace, it's just a little bit more efficient with its fuel, but we do need to turn this into a generator. We've got the iron plates. We need insulated tin cable, which is rubber, and a tin strip, which is made exactly the same way, just using tin. So that means that we are going to need another piece of rubber. I've made a piece of copper cable, which I didn't really need, which is a little bit annoying. But c'est la vie. Okay, let us get 3 pieces of tin cable, and let's dash outside and see if any of our rubber spots have regrown whilst I have been mucking around with this, and let's please hope that they have. Of course they have not. Okay, none will have been over there, so you might just have to wait for a while. You can if you so wish, and I better do this really. You can still see it is here. Is it? It was on the bottom here, wasn't it? You can just about still see where the rubber spot was on the tree. It's there on this one, it's there on this one. If you keep right clicking it, it will eventually destroy this, and it might make that spot go away, or you might get another piece of rubber out of it. So that is basically really, really annoying. What else? Hang on, just really quickly while I check the generator. That's the wrong one. But it does, no, it needs a... Where are we? We are here. The RE battery needs these tin item casings. Tin item casings are the tin plates hammered for a second time. So we can really quickly do some of those up. And I'm getting a very messy inventory, for which I do apologise. It would probably be a really good idea. That's too many already, isn't it? To quickly whip up another, and this is how you make the item casings, and you can see I've nearly killed that hammer already. Another work table just for doing this, because my inventory is getting extremely full. I don't actually need that anymore at the minute. And I could have just put these in here, but those can go back in there for the minute. Okay, any odds on this actually being up and working again? Yep, one's reappeared. Thank you very much. 3 pieces out of that one. And this is how those tree farms work if you set them up as managed farms to work that way, which is really handy. So instead of chopping all the trees down, it'll just let some trees grow, and then it'll just keep pulling these sticky resins out. The sticky resins, if you put them through this extractor that we've built, will actually... This extractor will actually turn into 3 rubbers each rather than just the 1. Let's quickly grab these straight out. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to combine this tin cable with a piece of rubber. I'm not going to use it all up just in case I need some more. So one of those with some of those. I have done that completely wrong. It is 2 of these, isn't it? And 2 of those makes us RRE battery. We now need that on the top, these across the middle, and whatever else it was. No, my brain has completely failed me. There is a big surprise. I'm clicking the wrong thing entirely. Generator, the iron furnace, obviously at the bottom. That will get us our generator. So we now have a generator, we have an extractor. What we will do is use another piece of copper cable so that I can just run some power. I could just run it between them, really. Okay, now one thing you must know is never to actually get these things out with a pick once you've put them down, because it will destroy the machine completely. Okay, so just don't do that. Right, I am, just for the time being, because I'm going to switch away from this to solar power just as soon as I have got enough rubber, so I might just as well plonk these down right in the middle of the room on my lovely stone floor. So there is our extractor, there is our generator. You can see it can store EU. EU is the power supply which is used in Industrialcraft, the equivalent of the RF in that. So I'm going to connect them together with a piece of this redstone cabling. Okay, you can see it outputs 10 EU per tick. These things can take 128 EU per tick. Now, this generator runs on coal or charcoal, just like a lot of the basic furnaces and generators do. So if I zoom over here at incredibly high speed... Yes, I know that wasn't even remotely. Oh, there's a creeper, there's a creeper. It's going to blow me, isn't it? Get my sword. Oh, for God's sakes, I've completely missed the forward key. Has that broken any cables? No. My finger slipped off the key then, my apologies. And yet again, I have still actually completely failed to ever kill a creeper properly in this series, which is pretty bad, because they're not that difficult to kill, really, are they? Okay, you can see we've got tons of jungle wood. In fact, it's probably spilling out all over the floor. I've got so much that I can't even pick it up. But that's fine, because each one of these will turn into a piece of rubber when fed through the macerator. But that does mean I'm going to have to feed it in, because they don't have quite the nice... Actually, I think you can put a hopper on these things, which will be good. So I'm just going to stick an entire stack of this stuff in here. And stick... I've got a load of coal in the minute for some reason, but I'm going to stick a bit of charcoal in here. This will start powering up this buffer, but it's going straight through into here, where it is powering up the extractor, which is pulling the rubber through, and in a second it will turn it into a piece of proper rubber. However, you can see it is as slow as anything, which is a real pain, and I'm just going to drop off these bits which I don't need in here, but I really ought to make up another chest just to stick all of this stuff in temporarily whilst I get the basic setup going. Okay, so a chest here, yeah, it can just sit there and offload all of my Industrialcraft junk temp or rarely, just to declutter and stop everybody moaning at me. There you go. So you can see it has turned 2 pieces into 2 rubber. So basically I'm going to make up a hopper just to put a load of this stuff in the top. And I don't actually know if it'll output directly into an adjacent chest, so this would be a good as time as any to discover that. So let's make up a pair of chests. If I'm holding down the right mouse button I could. Pair of chests, pick all those up. Click. Iron. Now, will this output directly into a chest, or do you need a pipe? I suspect you need a pipe, because I very much doubt that's going to directly output. Yeah, it's not, but I can just put it there to store it in anyway. However, a hopper, this is getting really messy already, which is that with, where's my other chest? That in the middle. A nice vanilla hopper sat on the top of that will let me, it's in this chest, stick a load of rubber in and let it, as you can see, it's dropping straight into the machine, just as you would expect. So this is going to take quite a bit of time to come through, so I'm basically going to sit here. I'll probably set it up with a redstone engine pulling it out, and I'm going to get a load of rubber ready for next time. Next time I shall move on to making solar generators so I don't have to burn through. You can see how quickly we're actually burning through this stuff. Actually, we're burning through it so quickly that we're wasting charcoal, basically. Not that that really matters because we've got an infinite supply, but I want to move to solar power. Then we can move on to the more exciting stuff, including ways to kill mobs. You may be able to work out what I'm going to do already. So that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time.